Hi everyone, we're Mimicker, here to introduce all kinds of knowledge, even the stuff we didn't know about.
Ah.
Okay, so today we're talking about a flower that, everyone knows, the rose. When you think of a rose, you think of romance, right? Poetry, love, it's this huge cultural symbol.
It's the absolute pinnacle of floral symbolism.
Mm.
But then you go online into any modern wellness space, and it has this completely different identity.
Oh, I've seen this. It's wild. They call it the gastrointestinal accelerator.
The laxative of the gods, I've seen that one too. It's this total contradiction, a symbol of pure love and a very effective gut mover.
Exactly. So that's what we want to get into today. Is this new reputation just, an internet folk tale? Or is there real science here? Maybe something ancient that we're just rediscovering?
That's a mission. We're going to bridge that gap. We'll look at the ancient wisdom from traditional Chinese medicine and stack it up against what modern pharmacology tells us. We need to see if this holds up.
And the history here is just, it's immense. We're not talking about some new hybrid plant. Fossils show roses have been on Earth for something like 35 million years.
And human cultivation goes back at least 5,000 years, starting in China. This isn't just a pretty flower. It's been a part of commerce, medicine.
I read that in the 17th century in Europe, it was so valuable, they were actually using it as a form of legal tender for a while.
For sure. That value wasn't just for the scent. It was for medicine. And that's the perfect entry point into its traditional use in the East.
Okay, let's go there. Traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. So in TCM, the rose, specifically the dried flower bud, mei gihua, is a serious medicinal herb.
A very respected one. In TCM, herbs are classified by their energy. The rose is seen as warm in nature, and its flavor is sweet with a little bitterness. Most importantly, it's said to enter the liver and spleen meridians.
And its job is to do what exactly?
It has a few key functions. It's known to soothe the liver, regulate qi, invigorate blood, and harmonize the stomach.
Okay, that's a lot. But for someone new to this, the idea of soothing the liver to, help with constipation, that feels like a huge leap. What does the liver have to do with it?
This is probably the most profound insight TCM offers for these kinds of issues. In TCM, the liver isn't just a physical organ. It's a whole system that manages the smooth flow of key or very vital energy throughout the entire body.
So it's kind of like the body's traffic controller for energy.
That's a perfect way to put it. Now think about what happens when you're under chronic stress or you're feeling really frustrated. That smooth flow gets blocked. It's an energetic traffic jam.
Which TCM calls
Liver key stagnation. You feel tense, irritable, stuck. And that energetic jam has real physical consequences.
And I'm guessing the digestive system is the first to feel it.
Absolutely. In five-element theory, the liver is the wood element, and the digestive system, the spleen and stomach, is the earth element. When wood gets chaotic from stress, it basically starts to attack or over-restrain earth.
So that emotional logjam leads to a physical one. Bloating, discomfort, functional constipation.
Exactly. Now, bring in the rose. It's an aromatic, warming herb that regulates qi. It doesn't work like a harsh laxative. Instead, its warmth and aroma gently break up that congested liver qi.
So it's calming the system down first.
It's an emotional sedative first and a digestive regulator second. It restores harmony. The key thing for you to understand is that, from this perspective, the laxative effect is an indirect result of fixing the root problem, the stress and stagnation.
And this idea of a mind-gut connection, it wasn't just in China, was it?
Not at all. There's a global echo. In ancient Persian medicine, the rose was also key for the heart and digestion. In Ayurveda, it's used to balance fiery pitta energy, which is linked to irritation and, well, digestive upset. It's a universal concept.
All right, so we have the ancient wisdom, which is all about energy and flow. Now let's jump to the hard chemistry. If we're calling this a gastrointestinal accelerator, we need to look at the actual compounds.
And to do that, we have to be really specific. Because rose tea isn't just one thing. There are two totally different parts of the plant people use, the petals and the hips.
The hips being the little fruit that's left over after the flower dies.
Exactly. And their chemical makeup is night and day.
Okay, let's start with the classic one, the petals. The mei gihua from TCM. What's in there?
So the petals are all about the aroma. They're rich in polyphenols, things like gallic acid, which is a great anti-inflammatory. But the real stars are the volatile essential oils. Citronellol, geraniol, that's the scent, and that's what has a lot of the subtle physiological effects.
And the hips, what's their story?
The hips are completely different. Think of them less like a flower and more like a superfruit. They're packed with vitamin C, of course, but also tons of dietary fiber, especially a soluble fiber called pectin.
Okay.
And this is the key part. They also have organic acids and sugar alcohols, like sorbitol. Anyone who's had too much sugar-free gum knows what sorbitol does.
Right. It's a known laxative, so these two parts of the plant must work in completely different ways.
Totally different. Modern science points to about 3, maybe 3.5 distinct mechanisms.
Let's break them down. What's number one?
Mechanism 1 is mostly from the petals. It's called choleretic action.
Choleretic.
It's a fancy word, but it just means it encourages your liver to secrete more bile. Bile flows into your intestine, and that naturally stimulates the intestinal lining and gets peristalsis, the muscle contractions, going. It's a gentle nudge from the top down.
Got it. So petals get the bile flowing. What's the next one?
Mechanism 2 is fascinating. It's called biphasic smooth muscle modulation. And it works on both petals and hips.
Biphasic, so two phases.
Exactly. At a low dose, the rose extracts actually encourage the smooth muscles in your gut to contract. That's the promotility, the laxative effect.
Okay, that makes sense. But what's the other phase?
At a higher dose, the same extract does the opposite. It inhibits contractions. It acts as an antispasmodic. It tells the muscles to relax.
Wait, that is incredible. So that's why it's used for constipation when you need things to move, and for things like menstrual cramps when you need things to calm down.
It's an intelligent regulator. It doesn't just push. It modulates. It's a remarkable piece of natural engineering.
Wow. Okay, what's mechanism 3?
Mechanism 3 is all about the hips. This is the most direct laxative action. Osmotic and bulking.
So this is where the sorbitol and pectin come in.
Right. The sorbitol isn't fully absorbed, so it gets to your colon and draws water in. That softens and bulks everything up, making it easier to pass.
And the pectin fiber helps with that bulking action.
For sure. Pectin absorbs water and forms a gel, which adds more volume and mechanically stimulates the intestinal walls to get moving. It also feeds your good gut bacteria, which is a huge bonus.
And you said there was a half mechanism?
Yeah, and this is the one that brings us right back to TCM. It's the neuro-olfactory pathway.
The what?
Basically the smell. The simple act of inhaling those volatile oils from the petals, or even just sipping the warm tea, is proven to be anxiolytic. It reduces stress hormones.
So smelling the roses literally calms you down.
It literally does. And since we know stress messes up gut motility through the gut-brain axis, this is a real measurable effect. It connects everything back together.
The philosophy, the chemistry. But what about the proof? I mean, is there a real head-to-head clinical trial against a modern drug?
There is, and it's the most compelling piece of evidence we've got. A double-blind, randomized controlled trial with 100 children who had functional constipation.
And what did they test it against?
They put a traditional damask rose syrup up against the pharmaceutical gold standard for this, which is polyethylene glycol, or PEG.
Right, PEG is what's in a lot of common laxatives. What happened?
The results were pretty shocking. The group that got the rose syrup had a 100% cure rate.
100%? Are you serious?
100%. Every single child in that group was effectively cured. The PEG group had a 91.7% success rate, which is still good, but the rose was better.
That's not just comparable, that is superior. And what about side effects?
That's the other huge win. The PEG group reported things like abdominal discomfort. The only side effect reported in the rose group was that some kids thought the syrup tasted too sweet.
Better results and a better safety profile. That's a massive piece of validation.
It is. And there's other supporting evidence, too. Another study found rose essential oil was about as effective as the drug omeprazole for relieving GERD symptoms, like heartburn. It suggests a broad regulatory effect on the whole digestive system.
Okay, so before everyone runs out to buy rose tea, we have to talk about safety. TCM says it invigorates blood, which sounds like something you need to be careful with.
Absolutely. It's generally very safe, but there are a few key cautions. First, pregnancy. It's best to be conservative with any herbs that regulate qi in blood during pregnancy.
Makes sense. What about for menstruation?
Well, if you tend to have a heavy flow, the blood-invigorating property could potentially make it heavier, so maybe avoid it during your period. But on the flip side, it's often great for the pain that comes from stagnation before your period.
What about medications or surgery?
Standard advice here. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin or have a bleeding disorder, you need to talk to your doctor. And definitely stop taking it 2 weeks before any scheduled surgery.
And given what it does, who should just stay away from it entirely?
Anyone who already has a tendency towards loose stools or chronic diarrhea. In TCM terms, we'd call that a spleen deficiency. The rose is for stagnation. If things are already moving too fast, this will only make it worse.
So it all comes down to choosing the right part of the plant for the job.
Exactly. If you want that gentle, stress-relieving effect, you go for the rose petal or bud tea. That's using the bile promotion and smooth muscle regulation.
And if you need the full-on gastrointestinal accelerator,
Then you want the rose hip tea. That's where you get the fiber, the pectin, the sorbitol. That's for the more direct osmotic and bulking action.
this has been amazing. It feels like we've come full circle. The ancient TCM idea of soothing the liver to harmonize the stomach is now backed up by our understanding of the gut-brain axis and chemistry. It's real, and it's multifaceted.
You know, what's really profound to me is that this one plant treats the body through two completely different lenses. It uses pure physics osmosis and bulk with the hips. And at the same time, it treats the mind and the nervous system with the delicate chemistry of its aroma. The ultimate symbol of love actually carries this incredibly complex healing power that links our emotions directly to our physical well-being.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell.